Welcome to a pleasant Michigan day in Livonia. My name is Ted Davis, and I'm the superintendent of Livonia Parks and Recreation. It is my honor to welcome you today for the groundbreaking of our new Senior Wellness Center. I now have the privilege of acknowledging our elected officials in attendance today. If everyone could please stand when I call your name and we can hold the applause to the end, that would be great. City Clerk Lori Miller, City Treasurer Susie Nash, Council President Brandon McCullough, Council Vice President Martha Tashnik, Council Member Rob Donovic, Council Member Carrie Budzinski, State Representative Lori Pahutsky, State Representative Stephanie Young, State Senator Dana Polhanke, County Commissioner Terry Marecki, County Commissioner Glenn Anderson, Wayne County Deputy Executive Assad Turfy, Victoria Houston representing the Governor's Office, Rashida Tlaib, U.S. Representative. Did I miss anyone? Scott Morgan, I'm sorry. City Councilman Scott Morgan. And Scott, you're only sitting center, so I apologize for that. Welcome, everyone. Last and certainly not least is our MC and our host today. It is the Honorable Mayor Maureen Miller Brosnan.
Ted wants to know if he can keep his job. I think he's good. We want to thank Ted and his dynamic team at DPW. You know, without all of them, we would not be here today in this phenomenal venue. We also want to make sure to thank our DPW crowd, the mayor's office, the comms department, everybody at Wade Shows. Isn't it phenomenal? We've got the spree coming in next week, and they came in advance and popped a tent, brought the misters, brought the banners. They really, really outdid themselves. But most of all, I want to thank all of you for coming and joining us today. This is a monumental moment. In addition to being the groundbreaking for our new Senior Wellness Center, for me, this will be, and forever for always, be the launching of Project Catalyst. The Wellness Center is just one piece of what we're trying to accomplish here in Livonia. And there were consultants who, quite frankly, across the board told us that this could not be done on the aggressive timeline that we wanted to move things forward on. But today, that timeline begins. And they certainly did not think that we would get nearly as much grant money as we secured in order to move this project along even faster. But when I look around the room today, what I see is dreamers. And I see doers. I see believers. I see cheerleaders. I see people that understood the magic in Project Catalyst and are here today to make that a reality. So thank all of you, not only for dreaming with us, but most importantly, for putting that dream into motion with the funding that was necessary to put this project on a fast path to bring the Livonia Senior Wellness Center to our community. In a few days, we're going to start construction on a 30,000 square foot wellness center for our seniors. Some of you may know that Livonia has the largest senior population in all of Wayne County, and this is not by just a little bit. We have 30,000 seniors, people that are 60 and over, living in the city of Livonia, and we are building this senior center for all of them. The new Wellness Center is designed to bring our exceptional programs and services to everybody who accesses the Senior Wellness Center now and seniors who find their way here to the Kirksey Recreation Center. We think the combination of these two facilities is absolutely the most purposeful thing that we can do in bringing wellness to our city. The new wellness facility is going to have a much more efficient floor plan. It's going to allow for programs and activities that need more flexibility than they currently have in their space. It's going to allow them, quite honestly, to fit better and attract more people. There's going to be a larger dining room, a cozy area for seating in the foyer and in the lounge. There's a lot of flexible space that's going to be built into this, where we're going to have our fitness classes, our educational seminars, our assistance services. Our maker space is going to be absolutely first class, out of this world. The Kirksey Recreation Center already starts as a first class structure. So to now be able to bring first class services for our seniors to this center, where you can avail yourselves of the health and recreation activities as well as the senior activities, seems to me to be the most perfect combination. By now, most of you know that this is a $26.9 million project, and it was made possible by $21 million in county, state, and federal grants, with the rest of the money coming from the city's American Rescue Plan funding and our own building development fund. So this means one very important thing for Livonia residents. It means that we're doing this. We're able to build this project without asking for a tax increase, without asking for a new millage. And that is immensely significant to our residents. So that deserves a round of applause. Now, there are a lot of people that I want to thank, and I want to take a moment to recognize them, but clearly we would not be here today without all of them. So you're going to get a chance to hear from each one of them. I want to start by recognizing Councilwoman Toy and Councilman Rob Donovic. They are our city council liaisons on this project. They've been with us at JUMP as it came to designing and developing this project, and they have both been a really instrumental part of the team in the development of the concept. So thank them very much. Also on the design committee, we've got Ted Davis, and I'm going to ask you all to stand, and then we're going to give you a big round of applause. Mark Chermina, Kathy Kevra, Carl Peters, Carrie Jo Krazan, Don Roraff, Michelle Coppin, and Dave Varga. If you could all please stand. These are the folks that are still in the trenches, that are still working on final designs and finishes. You know, the big work of what the structure is going to look like, that's complete. But what it finishes out like, they're going to be responsible for. And the team has had the pleasure of working with Hubble Rockman Clark over the past 18 months on an engineering and design of the building. A critical member of the team is the head of their architectural department, Adriana Melchor. Adriana, are you here behind me? Good to see you. And we're also grateful for our construction management team at PCI Daily, and in particular, the chance to work with their Vice President, Kyle Knoll. Kyle is a former Livonia resident. Kyle? I know Dan Fredendahl is out in the crowd. Dan is a Livonia resident, former OHM vice president, and he's been recruited by the city to serve as our eyes and ears on the project, serving as our owner's rep. So Dan lives literally right across the street, so he can be here in a moment's notice. I think this was an exceptionally good pick on DPW's part. Additionally, I want to thank Mike Garavaglia and his lobbying team at Capitol Relations for their help in opening a lot of the doors that were necessary to help us tell our story about why we believed we were one of the best candidates to receive some of that American Rescue Plan dollars. And we got Shannon Price in the room with us today. Shannon, thank you very much. And now I want to introduce you to some of the dreamers who helped to make this happen. And you're going to get to hear a little bit of their story. Our first dreamer, not here today, unfortunately, was Haley Stevens. Haley Stevens at the time was our congresswoman, and she was successful in securing $3 million in funding at a time when we came to her literally with a sketch and an idea. And she believed in this sketch and this idea. The trouble is she believed in it to the tune of about $2 million. And we kept saying, no, we believe in it to the tune of $3 million. And she went out and she made $3 million happen. So we are very, very grateful. So the districts shuffle around, and good thing for us, now we get a second bite at the federal apple. And so Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib, who is here today, not to be outdone, came through the door with another $1.25 million. Congresswoman Tlaib, would you like to say a few things?
No, just thank you to the Livonia community for trusting us to continue to support this project. I can tell you, just being out in the front with the mayor, 12:45, the folks coming in and out, our seasoned residents, just seeing that much of activity already, again, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a Monday, shows that there's tremendous need to continue to invest in this wellness center for our seniors, our seasoned residents. You know, they work so incredibly hard throughout their years. They deserve to be taken care of, and this is a way we can do it, one step at a time. I'm really pleased to see this. A wellness center, I love that we call it a wellness center, is incredibly important. Our seasoned residents, as you all know, during this time, especially after they retire, to be able to come here and be able to be among other neighbors and other folks is incredibly important for them to be able to thrive, again, during the retirement and during their times as they age with human dignity. Again, thank you so much to the mayor who trusted our team. My chief of staff, Larissa Richardson, worked incredibly hard. She's here. I would love to recognize her for incredibly hard to make sure that we can get it out of the subcommittee. And worked really hard to stay connected to our Livonia city contacts, and again made this possible. Again, thank you so much for believing in us to work with you all on this. I'm really proud of this. Thank you very much.
So the state jumps in, and our our state senators and our representatives procured a total of $4.5 million for this project. And what's critical about understanding where that $4.5 million comes from is that it doesn't come as a grant from a particular project or fund. It is the first time in our city's history that we were actually a line item in the state budget, because the state of Michigan truly believes in the economic development that's going to come, not just as part of the Senior Wellness Center, but on what we plan to do as we move through Project Catalyst. So those believers, that's Senator Mary Cavanaugh, Senator Dana Pohanke, Representative Matt Kolazar, Representative Lori Pohutsky, and Representative Stephanie Young. Now, Senator Cavanaugh and Representative Kolazar are still in Lansing today. There's some budget arm wrestling going on, so we're glad that they're there, arm wrestling on our behalf. But back in February of 2021, they were very present in Lansing, as were all of the state reps and our additional senator. All of them were there, and they allowed me to come up and tell them the story of where we saw Livonia headed if we could just build this senior center, that this would be the first step. And again, early believers, before there were drawings, before there were sketches, just a concept, just an idea, just the thought that this was the next step in a long-range strategic plan, and they got a chance to play a part in it, brought all of them to help us with $4.5 million. So we want to recognize Senator Pohanke, who's here today. If you'd like to say a few words.
I would love to. Thank you, Mayor Brosnan. My name's Dana Pohanke, and I'm your proud state senator for the past 5.5 years. So Mayor Brosnan asked to come to my office in the Capitol, and she comes with a 3-ring binder. I think you all know what I mean. And in the 3-ring binder, there's these plastic sheets, and she goes page by page, and she flipped through what Project Catalyst is. I said, you mean you're gonna tear down that senior center, which let's face it, is just okay, you know? And you're gonna build a brand new state-of-the-art senior wellness center, and then you're gonna tear down that and build that and do what? So, I mean, this vision was, it was mind-blowing. And I thought, gosh, Maureen, I think you might be able to do some of it, but I don't know if you're gonna be able to do all of it, because it involves like a couple city blocks with Project Catalyst. And lo and behold, it's going to happen, and it's going to happen soon. And she said, I need 2 things from you. I need $4.5 million, and I need you to make this call, and this call. And I said, yes, ma'am, let's do it. So I wish I could say I'm surprised it's happening, but yeah, it's really happening. I didn't doubt Mayor Brosnan for a minute, and I'm so proud to be among the federal, state, county, and local leaders who can make this a reality for Livonians. I'm a proud Livonian, and I can't wait to see what Project Catalyst, our first downtown. Come on, Livonia. We've been waiting for this for a long time. So thank you very much.
We've got Representative Lori Pohutsky with us today. So Representative Pohutsky, if you'd like to say a few words.
Thank you, Mayor Brosnan. So I just want to thank everyone for being out here in the heat to celebrate this huge achievement. As someone who regularly attends meetings that senior groups host over at the Senior Center, I know what a great asset to our community the current one is, and I can't even imagine how wonderful it's going to be for our community to have one that was built with the senior community in mind from the ground up. And the thing I'm most proud of about this is that this procurement of these funds and being here today demonstrates what can happen when all levels of our government work together, from the city to the county to the state to the federal government, just working in tandem towards a single unified goal. So thank you all for being here, and I'm very, very proud that I could play a very small role in making this happen. Thank you.
Now, it's important to understand that we've known Senator Pohanky and Representative Pohutsky for a very long time in Livonia, but new to the game was Representative Stephanie Young. And poor Representative Young, she did not know what hit her with this ask, but she really was one of our biggest champions in Lansing. So Representative Young, thank you for being here today.
Wow, good afternoon, Livonia. I tell you, when you run for office and you get a part of Livonia, you don't know what you're getting into. A girl from Detroit, and all I know is the first time, and I mean to tell you, the first time I met with your mayor, she said, "Hello, it's nice to meet you. I have a project." Okay, let's talk about it. But what I like to say is I happen to be a movie person. And this movie with Kevin Costner comes to mind, Field of Dreams. Who's a movie person in the house? If you build it, what? They will come. But here's the thing, you have to have a visionary first in order to build anything. And so you all have one of the greatest visionaries I've ever met in your mayor. She came and she shared the vision about the Project Catalyst. And now we're here, ready to break ground, not just for anybody, but for those that have put in the work, for our seniors, for our seasoned citizens. They deserve this, and the rest of us benefit. In Michigan, persons over 50 are one of the highest growing populations in our state, of which I'm a member. And so I'm looking forward to being able to experience the greatness of this wellness center. God bless you all, and thank you, Mayor Brosnan.
And finally, and I do mean finally, Wayne County. Wayne County, when we first talked to them about this project, they were insistent upon two things. They wanted to be the last money through the door, and they demanded that this be a transformational project, something that would change the face of not just a city, but of the county as a whole. So when we asked them for $8 million, we started building a bigger door because there was a bigger check that was coming through that door. And sure enough, with a lot of hard work, $8 million became the county contribution to this project. It happens that we have two Wayne County commissioners. Wayne County Commissioner Glenn Anderson, he didn't get the full brunt of the project because he wasn't our commissioner at the time when we first started with this ask. But boy, by the time it came time to vote, Commissioner Anderson was in the seat and he was raising his hand, yes. So Commissioner Anderson, thank you. If you'd like to come say a few words.
Thank you, Mayor. Thanks for the opportunity to be here today. It's a great day for Livonia. I represented Livonia for 8 years in the Michigan Senate. And some of the best times I ever had was in this city and working with the folks here. At that time, we didn't have Mayor Brosnan, but I'm so happy that she's there now, because just look at the project she's bringing forth and things to make the city even a better place for everyone to live in and live, work, and play. So that's all I'll say. I know there's going to be a couple more speeches, so I just wanted to say thank you for including me, and I'm just really happy to see this come to fruition. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Anderson. Our second champion was an early believer, Terry Marecki. I'll never forget Commissioner Marecki coming into my office delivering stacks of masks during COVID, a stack that was up to my shoulders. And, you know, it's probably not polite, but no sooner were the words thank you out of my mouth, I pulled her into my office and I said, but we got a project we got to work on. And I started telling her about the project and why building a senior wellness center had to be the first step in how we're eventually going to get this city center, a downtown for ourselves. And Terry sat and she listened. And before she left the office, she was every bit as excited about the possibility as I was. And through a lot, over 2 years of work to secure the funding from the county, Terry was there every step of the way. Terry, as one of our biggest champions, please come up and thank you very, very much.
Well, thank you everyone for being here, and thank you, Mayor. Like the mayor said, she brought me in on this project right at the beginning, and I'm very thankful for that. It's been a very exciting two and a half years getting all this done. It's been really exciting, not only working with the mayor, but her amazing staff. Everyone in the city that I used to work with in the past when I was on Livonia City Council. So it's been an amazing project. Thank you for including me in this. Thank you to the county for the money. Assad Turfi, Hassan, Dave, CEO Warren Evans. We're a great team together. And again, Livonia, you will be so proud of this project when it's done, because Livonia does everything first class. So I can't wait for the county people to come back and see it again. And the thing, I was thinking about this today, the thing that really blows my mind is my parents moved to Livonia when I was 6 months old. And now I'm at the age where I can enjoy the senior center. So it's like going very quickly. So thank you again.
County Executive Warren Evans sent in a team of people early on when we started talking about this project. And that team of people with Dave Schreiber at its head is really instrumental in helping us to figure out how to sell this project, how to talk about it. The name Project Catalyst happened because that team sat down with us and we were selling them on a wellness center. And all of a sudden, Dave turned around and he said, what the heck? He goes, this is so much bigger than a wellness center. Because I stand people on the 4th floor of City Hall and I show them, if you take this building down and this building down, you can clear out this much property and we can build. And the story goes on. And Dave says, talk about it big, Mayor. Talk about it big. And as soon as we started talking about it big, big money started arriving at the table. So today we have with us the Deputy County Executive, Assad Turfi. And Assad, again, another one of those people that helped us to tell the story better than we were telling it originally. So as somebody said earlier, when you talk about a really cohesive effort to move a project forward, it took a lot of brain power. It took a lot of innovation. It took a lot of ideas. And the county has been right there right alongside of us. We want to thank you all very much. Assad, if you'd mind stepping up, we want to thank you.
Well, good afternoon. It's a warm day, but we got a cooling center inside, so we could all go in after and enjoy the cool. But for us to have gotten to this point, there was a lot of work that went through. And I'm going to take you back to 2015 when County Executive Warren Evans took the county over. We were in bad financial shape. We were not in good financial health. And as the years went by, we got our checkbook in order. And the county now today is one of the best financially municipalities in the country, health-wise. Essentially, we took our credit score from 450 to 700, and that's a big deal. But what did that do for us? And this is where a lot of times that people don't understand why financial help's important in government. When because of the help of our congressional delegation, we received American Rescue Plan dollars, and it came to the county. And instead of spending that money to get our house in order, the county executive decided to put it out in the community to have generational projects that could help out several generations down the road. And one of those projects was this project. And what you see up here on stage is collaboration. Collaboration is the new currency in government. And I can't understate that. When we work together, things actually happen. Every official, when they run for office, they always talk about working together as a team. What we're doing at Wayne County with our local partners, our state partners, our federal partners, we believe in working together. When you work together, you get projects like this. And this is a project that's going to be here for decades to help our senior community. The mayor mentioned that Livonia is is the oldest senior community in Wayne County. A few years back, I looked at some data that suggests that we're getting older as a county year by year. What we don't have is the infrastructure in place to deal with the senior population. And this is an example of building that infrastructure now. As this project was going along, and somebody mentioned this to me, they said, well, investing in your senior community, you're investing in yourself. And the reality of it is true. If we're lucky and God willing, one day we will be a senior. So we're building something for ourselves. And this is a great project, but your mayor, Mayor Maureen Brosnan, is essentially the person that got this to this point. She did not leave no stone unturned. She had every conversation, sometimes to the point where when we see her, we run away because we knew we were going to have this conversation. I'm glad she pushed us and pushed us all to get to this point, because without her, we would not be here today. So congratulations, Mayor, and looking forward to seeing this completed.
Well, I appreciate all of that, but it is never just me. This is always a team. And at the core of that team is our Livonia City Council. They are vital in this process. And this dream began even before this city council was seated and elected. And I want to be sure to recognize that we had some early adopters then. We've got Scott Barr, former city council, with us, member here today. Scott, thanks for believing. Councilwoman Kathleen McIntyre, I don't know if she's here, but she was on council when we first started this project. We've got President Brandon McCullough, Vice President Martha Tashnik, Carrie Budzinski, Rob Donovic, Jim Jolly, Scott Morgan, and Laura Toy that are the team that is now ushering this project through. They have helped us to make sure that we've had the funding approved. They approved all of the funding coming in, accepted all of the grant money that we secured. They understood that we were going to need to turn to some of our own American Rescue Plan money, and they designated those funds. They worked alongside of my team in Livonia Public Schools to secure additional property from Livonia Public Schools in order to build the very best senior center that we could build. So on behalf of the City Council, we've got President McCullough here. And President McCullough, thank you and your team ever so much for the work that you've done. If you'd like to say a few words, we'd appreciate it.
Thank you, Mayor. Like everybody says, I think you can hear the common goal is it takes a village, and we got a really good village. Before I get into my 40-minute speech, which always is a good joke, it would behoove us to recognize our school board, who's also here. We do have school board member Madeline Acosta, Mark Johnson, Colleen Burton. Karen Bradford was here. We have our superintendent, Andrea Oquist. Again, without you guys, thank you guys so very much for everything you guys do. Did I miss somebody? Oh, Crystal Fink as well. Thank you for everything. Also, Mike Slater's in the background, and he's our numbers guy. I know he retired, but kudos to you for making this happen. Let's give him a round of applause. being on city council, I always say, yeah, I might be the council president, but I try to be the council captain. And I got a great bunch of colleagues. I'm just the one that gets to come up here and make a speech on behalf. But we got a great team. And thanks to the administration and everybody behind here, because after this, I want to give them the biggest round of applause. But it makes our job, we're the legislative branch, so we get to approve all the fun stuff and sometimes not the fun stuff, right? But when we can tell our taxpayers that, you know, this project is going to jumpstart basically our master plan, and it was pretty much grant funded to 0 tax increases, what more can you say? And right now, I'd like to give as biggest loud of applause for everybody that's behind here for making it happen, especially the mayor, the team, and every one of our colleagues around the state and federal. They made this happen, so let's hear it for them. And now I have, I think, 20 more minutes. Now, with that, congratulations to everybody. It's a great win for Livonia. And let's get, as I always say, you know, let's push some things past the goal line and the finish line. Well, judging by these, I think we're ready to get the party started. So let's go. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to ask our team, Kristen Houchins, Dave Varga, team to come up. We're going to do the official shovel in the dirt photo, and then we've got a few wrap-up comments, and we'll let you all get cooled off, okay? 1, 2, 3. All right, so somebody just asked, does everybody get to keep their shovels? No, they do not get to keep their shovels, and it's for a really simple economic reason. We are going to be putting a lot of shovels in the ground, and I cannot keep replacing these shovels every single time we do it. So I want to thank you all again for joining us to mark this historic day. You know, the Wellness Center for us is more than a home for our seniors. It truly is the beginning of Livonia's transformation. This is a transformation that was dreamed by Livonia residents starting back in 2017 when they came together and they drafted Livonia Vision 21, which is a long-range strategic plan for the future of our city. The plan was designed to assure that Livonia was going to be a city that our children wanted to come home to. It was adopted in 2020 by the Livonia City Council with a new master plan attached to it, and that master plan went into play in 2021 on target, on time. And that is what we're trying to do right now, is to keep all of these projects moving on target and on time. At the heart of that plan was the need to address something that thousands of residents have said over the course of 30 years. They've been talking about a need to fix this missing piece in Livonia, to put at the center of Livonia a central gathering area, something that is grounded in residential development, in retail and restaurants and commercial space that has a large bikeable, walkable path running through it that becomes, in essence, Livonia's downtown or Livonia's city center. The southeast corner of Farmington and 5 Mile is the target for that city center. That was the place identified by Livonia residents, not by elected leaders, not by people who work for the city, but people who live in the city. And they are right. They were right because this is the one place where we get a chance to control our own destiny. We own that entire corner. It means we get to move faster if we want to move faster. So we call this first phase of Livonia Vision 21 Project Catalyst because it kickstarts all of the work that's necessary to clear the space that we're going to need for redevelopment. So what is phase 2? If today is phase 1, what then becomes phase 2? Phase 2 is a new city hall. And I bet you think that's a long way off. It is not. The city council, together with the mayor's office, has come together and we have found the funds in order to build a new city hall without any additional costs to taxpayers, without a new millage, using the resources that we have to build a new, roughly $36 million structure that will be opening in 2026. So when I say we're going to need these shovels really soon, we're going to need these shovels really, really soon. Now, this city hall is going to be a smaller one. It's going to be a more efficient one. It's going to be an accessible city hall, a handicap accessible city hall. It's going to be in a location further east on the campus, closer to the library, clearing out some of that space that we know we're going to need in order to build that city center area. So what's phase 3? Phase 3 has already been thought up. Phase 3 is already well on its way. Phase 3 is rebuilding the police station. Phase 3 is renovating all of our fire stations. Phase 3 is building that city center park, that gathering area, again, further east on the campus, closer to the library. All of that could be done by as early as 2028 if we stick to the plan. So, what then is phase 4, and when does that begin? Phase 4 begins in 2029 when 27 acres of property becomes cleared at the corner of 5 Mile and Farmington Road, ripe for redevelopment, ripe for that multifamily residential townhouses, condos, apartments, retail, restaurant, walkable, bikeable space that, get this, connects everything from Silver Village over at Linden and 5 Mile Road and Farmington there, all the way here to this rec center. All that way gets connected. All of this becomes part of Livonia's downtown. And we've got some genius forefathers who boulevarded both Farmington and 5 Mile with an inherent understanding that one day this would come. You, as the dreamers, as the doers, as the believers, are going to be part of making that happen in our city. You will be part of making the single biggest economic driver in this city happen. This will be the biggest thing that's happened to Livonia since 1950 when we developed the industrial corridor. And I want to thank you all for believing in the possibility, and more than believing, in putting your money behind this project, in understanding that Livonia would carry this the rest of the way, because we have the resources, we have incredible talent, and we know how to get this job done fast because we have got some amazing partners. So make no mistake, these are the first of many shovels in the ground over the course of the next 4 years. Magic things are going to happen in our city, but this is where we begin to make sure that Livonia is the city that our children want to come home to. I want to thank all of you for dreaming in this reality with me. Today it begins.